go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log on.
And welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. I'm Taylor Phillips. This is another post-game edition for Wednesday, April 8th, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings talk coming up. First off, the Tigers winning 11-0 over the Minnesota Twins. Second time in a row they have shut out an opponent to start the season. The first time that's happened since exactly 1915, a decade ago. A century ago, rather. There was no scoring until the bottom of the third when Ian Kinsler hit a 2-run single scoring Alex Avila and Jose Iglesias. And then Miguel Cabrera hit an RBI double. That made it 3-0. Then we go to the bottom of the fourth. Anthony Gose hit an RBI triple, scoring Alex Avila and Jose Iglesias. Again, they both scored two. They both scored a run simultaneously on yet another hit. That is a weird coincidence. Then Ian Kinsler drove in Anthony Gose with a double, making it 6-0. And Ian Kinsler scoring on a wild pitch. Ian Kinsler advanced to third on a missed catch error by center fielder Jordan Schaefer. It was a fly ball, but it was not catchable. But he still missed fielding it cleanly on the ground, on the turf. That's the exact error that we were looking at while we were watching the game. I watched the entire game at Central Michigan University's University Center, Bova University Center, while reading at the same time. It was 7-0 Tigers after 4. They would add on 2 more in the 5th on a sacrifice fly by Kinsler, scoring Avila, and a Miguel Cabrera single scoring Iglesias, advancing Anthony Gose to third. And then in the bottom of the 7th, they would add another on an Anthony Gose double, scoring Avila. And then James McCann would get into the act in the bottom of the 8th, hitting an RBI single, scoring J.D. Martinez. That made it 11-0, and that's exactly how the game ended. in terms of the score. Looking at the box score, Tigers finished 15 for 38 as a team in hits out of at-bats, and 22 of 45 in on-base percentage opportunities. Jose Iglesias would finish 4 for 4 with a walk. And yes, that is a true stat if you can see it on MLB.com on the box score. And Anthony Gose finished 3 for 6. He was a home run away from hitting for the cycle today. And that is incredible. He had himself a day. Kinsler finished 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Gose with 3 RBIs. Cabrera with 2. Iglesias didn't knock anybody home, but the key thing for him was to get on base, and he did. All 5 of his plate appearances. And Alex Avila was 1 for 1, walking 3 times. He was 4 for 4 in on base percentages per out of plate appearances. On base appearances per plate appearances, rather. Jonas Cespedes, who went 2 for 3 2 days ago on opening day, finished 1 for 5, and so did JD Martinez. Victor Martinez and Nick Castellanos both finished hitless. Victor finished 0 for 3. Nick Castellanos finished 0 for 5. Both of them which are obvious. James McCann is batting 1,000 after his RBI single. That was the only at bat he would get, which was in the bottom of the 8th. Anibal Sanchez finished 6 2/3 innings and got the win, giving up just 3 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Angel Nesbitt and Ian Kroll fell behind in 3-ball counts against each batter that they faced, and they got 4 straight outs combined, and did not allow a base runner. 2 of those batters who struck out, both in the 8th inning. Albuquerque pitched the first 2/3 of the top of the 9th and gave up a hit. Struck out 1 batter, but Joaquin Soria pitched the other third of the 9th inning and got the final batter to fly out to Andrew Romine in left, the substitute left fielder. For Minnesota, Ricky Nolasco takes the loss, pitching just 3 innings and change, giving up 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, walking 4 and striking out 2. His ERA rises to 18 flat. Tomorrow it is Shane Green against Kyle Gibson. Rain is in the forecast, written by Rhett Bullinger of MLB.com. But if it holds off, Twins right-hander Kyle Gibson and Tigers righty Shane Green are set to square off in the series finale on Thursday afternoon at Comerica Park. It marks Green's debut with Detroit after being acquired from the Yankees in a 3-team trade in the offseason. The Twins are also still looking for their first run of 2015, as they became the first American League team to be shut out in back-to-back games to open a season since the 1977 Seattle Mariners. Minnesota did not have a runner reach third base at all in the first 2 games of this set. 3 things to know about this game. Green, who made 15 starts with the Yankees as a rookie last year, has never pitched against Minnesota. The only current Twins player he's faced is Torrey Hunter, who went 1 for 4 against Green last year when he was with the Tigers. Torrey Hunter. Gibson is coming off his first full season in the rotation that saw him go through his ups and downs. He posted a 4.47 ERA on the season, but he had a 1.42 ERA in his 13 wins and an 11.04 ERA in his 12 losses. So he's working to be more consistent this season and is looking to mix in his changeup more as well. Gibson is familiar with the Tigers, making 6 starts against them last year, going 2 for 3 with a 6 even ERA. Several Detroit hitters have had success against Gibson, Kyle Gibson that is, including Miguel Cabrera, 5 for 11 with a homer and a double, and Ian Kinsler, 6 for 14 with a homer. And that is it. First pitch, 108, Fox Sports Detroit, and 97.1 The Ticket in the Detroit Tigers radio network. If you want to call in on the show to voice your opinion, the number is 646-478-4837, or text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. Again, the call-in number is 646-478-4837. Or you can text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. Make sure you write those numbers down. Just look at if you have to, just read the information carefully on this episode. There's your preview between Shane Green and Kyle Gibson. Pistons lose to the Celtics 113-103. They have been eliminated from playoff contention with that loss. Greg Monroe returned to the lineup with 19 points. Oh, by the way, Tigers placed closing pitcher Joe Nathan on the 15-day disabled list with a flexor strain. Joakim Soria expected to take over as the interim closer, and they have also recalled left-handed relief pitcher Blaine Hardy. That was just reported after the 11-0 win earlier today. Okay, back to the Pistons. As I just mentioned before, they lose to the Boston Celtics 113-103 at the Palace of Auburn Hills. A bit earlier tonight, they are officially eliminated from NBA playoffs contention. Greg Monroe scoring 19 points. Celtics, who hold the eighth and final seed in the Eastern Conference standings, were led by Isaiah Thomas with 34 points, a younger Isaiah Thomas. The Celts increased their lead over the Miami Heat for 8th place to 1 game. The Heat apparently had off. Once again, the Pistons just lacking defense. That's what got them eliminated. That's the only thing and the biggest thing that got them, that eliminated them from postseason contention for the 6th time in a row, the 6th season in a row. Checking out the Pistons schedule now. They're home Friday against the Indiana Pacers at 7:30. So that's enough for them. The Red Wings take on the Canadiens in Montreal at 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit. They will take on the Vezina Trophy champion-bound goaltender Carey Price, PK Subban. and the Canadians, who will play without Max Pacioretty, who probably won't be ready until the postseason, according to Ken Daniels, who was interviewed by Matt Derry on Detroit Sports 105.1. I will try to get a preview right now. First to the Red Wings mobile app or DetroitRedWings.com. Oh, yeah. Canadians' Pacioretty could return to the lineup next week. That is when the playoffs begin. Season series, the Montreal Canadiens have outscored the Red Wings by a total of 8-2 in 3 wins, including a 2-0 victory at Joe Louis Arena on February 16th. Montreal has an opportunity to sweep Detroit for the second time in a season series of at least 4 games. The Canadiens' previous sweep of that nature to date against the Red Wings was in their first season, 1926 to 1927, when the Canadiens won all 4 games against the Detroit Cougars. Red Wings team scope, goalie Jimmy Howard. Goalie Jimmy Howard will make his second start in a row on Thursday. Forward Justin Abdelkader could play against Montreal after missing the past 2 games because of a hand injury, but Eric Cole will miss the rest of the regular season and Stanley Cup playoffs should the Red Wings clinch a berth because of a spinal cord contusion. Cole, who was acquired in a trade with the Dallas Stars on March 2nd, revealed Wednesday that he met with doctors last week and has been advised not to play the rest of the season. Cole had 3 goals and 3 assists when he was hit by a member of the Arizona Coyotes on March 24th. Canadians team scope. Left wing Max Pacioretty sustained an upper body injury that will cause him to miss Montreal's final 2 regular season games. Canadians coach Michael Therian, former Penguins head coach back in 2008 when the Wings beat the Penguins in 6 games in the Cup final, Michael Therian said Wednesday after Pacioretty met with doctors. Pacioretty, who leads Montreal with 37 goals and 30 assists, 67 points, fell backwards and hit the back of his helmet against the boards Saturday after he was checked by Florida Panthers defenseman Dmitry Kulikov. Therian said Pacioretty will be reevaluated next week and did not know if he would be ready to begin the playoffs. He said, Therian said, we know exactly what he has, and we have to protect the player. That's the most important thing for us. That there's things that we can't tell. So we're a week away from the playoffs, and for us, there's a possibility that Max plays next week. We'll know next week, unquote. Alex Galchenyuk practiced at left wing on the top line with center Thomas Plekanec and right winger Brendan Gallagher on Wednesday in place of Pacioretty, who leads the NHL with a +38 rating. Therian said, "It's a heavy loss. We won't hide that. He's a guy that had quality ice time, not only offensively but defensively. At the end of games when we're up a goal, he's the guy we send on the ice." We used him on the penalty kill, but don't make the mistake of tossing him aside. There's a possibility he plays next week. Unquote. Yeah, we know. Yep, we know. But the Red Wings, if they were to clinch the playoff berth tomorrow night, they would still finish in the 8th seed and play the New York Rangers, the 1st seed in the Eastern Conference in general. And that looks like a horrible mismatch. I'd say that I still predict the Rangers to sweep the Wings 4-0. Jimmy Howard has been playing better. Gave up only 2 goals in each of the last 2 games, and picked up wins in both of those games. The Wings just have to keep limiting the turnovers. They had a strong third period. In their last game at home, their last home game of the season against the Carolina Hurricanes, outscoring them 2-0 and winning 3-2 in regulation. The Boston Bruins just got shut out by the Washington Capitals in D.C. 3-0. So the Bruins stay at at 95 points. They hold the second wild card spot. The Wings hang on a second. Conference. The Wings hold the 6th playoff seed right now. They could finish higher. They can finish even higher than the 7th seed. They could finish the 6th seed. If the Islanders were to stay stuck on 98 points the rest of the season, and the Wings were to surpass that, they would move up to 5th place and play the Washington Capitals if the season ended either tomorrow or Friday. I'm seeing more positive stuff than the negative stuff here, which is quite obvious. Tides turn quickly every now and then. It's a seesaw, a very heavy seesaw.
90 seconds.
In my head, it's been a roller coaster. So that's going to do it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show Postgame Edition, Wednesday, April 8th, 2015, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm Taylor Phillips. I will talk to you tomorrow night at 11. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
60 seconds. Thank you for using Talk Radio. Goodbye.